Hello, my name is Glenn Newton, and I'm at the Capitol View Conference Center at the border between Little Canada and Roseville for the Etoile du Nord ACFA Cat Show. Let's go inside and take a look at what goes on at the show. Okay. Sharon Jennings is one of the exhibitors at today's cat show, and let's meet Sharon and one of her pets. Sharon, who's this?
This is Miss Mims.
Where did you find Miss Mims?
Miss Mims came out of a house where a lady had a whole lot of them, and she was selling and pushing drugs, so the cats were all in really, really terrible shape. Took about 4 years before I could get her to start eating, so she's starting her career as an old lady.
So her career is as a competitor?
Well, this is her first show, so we'll see. But she's placed in 1 ring, so she's done very well, but she's 8. So that it's usually they've retired by 8.
Now, what kind of cat is Miss Mims?
She's a household pet, but she's a little different because she has extra toes, if you can see here, both front and back. She's got 2 extra on one front foot and 1 extra on the other, and then 1 on each back foot.
She looks like she's pretty vigorous, too. Now, why do you have handwriting, writing on your hand?
Because several of us are showing together, and it's the numbers of all of the cats, so we know when to take them up and who they are.
Now, as a household pet, what is Miss Mims graded on?
Condition, friendliness, how much they like the show. Obviously, they can't have ear mites or fleas, or they have to be clean and healthy and vaccinated. Well groomed, well cared for, and loved.
Well, Miss Mims looks like a fine cat, and we'll wish her well in the show.
Thank you very much.
Now let's walk around the arena and see some of the exhibitors with their cats, starting with this playful Himalayan. Lisa and Stan Ferguson are also exhibitors at today's show, and they have Maine Coons. Lisa, tell us about the cat you're holding.
Well, this is Katya. She is a 10-month-old brown patch tabby female, and she's just here to get experience for the show. She doesn't have her paperwork back yet, so we can't show her, but she's welcome to come along and just learn all about it so that she's not scared by the time we get to the ring.
And Stan, how about the cat you're holding?
This is a polar bear. He's an odd-eyed white Maine Coon, about a year old, and he's been showing a lot CFA and ACFA at this time, and he's doing pretty well.
He's champion and working towards grand champion.
Now, Lisa, you mentioned champion and grand champion. What do those require?
A champion in the ACFA means that 4 different judges have to award him a winner's ribbon. And to get a grand champion, you have to get 16 of the winner's ribbons. Plus, you have to make it into 6 different finals rings, which is kind of a challenge to do. It takes a while to build up to that.
Now, tell us about what it's like to be a breeder.
Oh, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. We have cats. Our cats are not caged. They live at home. They are house pets during the week. They get bathed Friday night and then come to the shows. So our kittens are right now being raised in a Charmin box next to the bed in our bedroom and are all over the place.
It sounds like you treat them just like we treat our pets.
Absolutely. That's the main focus, is to have happy, healthy animals and have cats that are happy and acclimated and willing to go to people, and they have to have good personalities or we don't breed them. We only want cats that are bred for health and happiness, and that's the main focus.
Now, you make it sound like there's almost a selection process when you sell them to somebody, too.
Well, yes, there is. We first find out what the people are interested in and then see if we have any kittens that match up, whether they want them just for house pet, whether they want them for show, and we do not sell cats for breeding yet because our cattery has not become strong enough yet that we feel our kittens are ready to be bred by other people. So we go through a long process to develop that up to that point.
Now, what if you should sell a cat to somebody who then gets sick and can't take care of the cat?
We take them back, or if we will help them find another owner. That's up to the person's choice, but all our cats are sold with the contract stipulation that we get first buyback rights to make sure that our cats stay happy and healthy. So we are responsible for every single kitten we produce. Therefore, we don't produce hundreds of kittens every year.
Yes.
It's very select.
Well, thank you very much, Lisa and Stan, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Carol Jordan is a judge from Minnetonka, Minnesota. We're going to watch the finals in her ring of a competition between purebred adults of all breeds. I'm going to repeat some of what Carol's saying because she has a sore throat and can't talk loud.
The owner is going to tell us how lovely, and if she doesn't tell it all, I'll fill in.
Well, is this a Maine Coon? What? This is a Maine Coon. He's a year and a half old. He's a red classic tabby. And he's my love. He's my love. I just adore him. He's my baby.
I think when I handled this cat, I said, it's bad enough to have a Cornish Rex pounce on your body in the middle of the night. I couldn't envision this one pouncing on the body in the middle of the night. It's very heavy. It's a lovely Maine Coon. It's my 10th best all-breed cat in the show. Thank you.
So Lucas the Maine Coon is the 10th best all-breed in this ring.
Very lovely Selkirk Rex. I love the eye color. Deep copper, beautiful pale cream. Do you want to take the cat out?
So this is a Selkirk Rex, pale cream with beautiful eye color.
And now, what do you have to say?
Well, he's got a nice broad head, nice body type, and of course the curl, which is a pretty tight curl. This is a real good curl. He's a little nervous. It's his first show.
I think you're nervous too.
I am too. Thank you.
It's a beautiful Selkirk. It's my 9th best all-breed.
So So this Selkirk is the 9th best all breed.
Beautiful color on this Abby. Very wonderful type, nice and tall on its legs. Very, very beautifully presented. And I'll get out of the way. So.
This is a 3.5-year-old fawn Abyssinian. Abyssinians have long legs, large ears, ticking in the fur. This boy is extremely strong. He is very, very active. He has a very fine personality. He's a delight to show.
So in ring 2, this Abyssinian is the 8th best all breed. Nancy Polis is the co-show manager of today's show. Nancy, I know that there's a special collection that's being taken. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, it's a collection that is being taken up for Spanky, who is a cat that was burned by a human being. The pictures are quite graphic. You won't see all of them, but he was burned down to the bone on his spine and the back of his head.
And then where was Spanky found?
Spanky was found he's in Florida. He's with a lady that runs a rescue mission for dogs and cats. She is paying for his vet bills out of her own pocket. It's become very expensive for her because he has already had 4 or 5 operations, and he's due to have several more. He also had both ears amputated, and the back of his head is burned very badly.
So today, how are we collecting money for him?
We're doing a raffle, which is like a grab bag raffle, and people pay their money and they get to take out so many chances, and the money goes to Spanky to help pay for his veterinarian hospital bills.
Well, it sounds like a very worthwhile cause.
Yes, it is. It is. And as I said before, this lady does this out of the goodness of her heart. Her email, if you wish to check up on him, or her website is lighthouse.com on the web, so that you can follow up on Spanky. She has pictures on the web, and she also gives you an update every single day on him.
Sounds like she's taking good care of Spanky, and we'll all wish him a successful recovery.
We certainly do, all of us. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Nancy. So a big part of the show, in addition to the competition, is the products that are here that are related to cats. We have vendors showing foodstuffs, lots and lots of cat toys of all kinds here. Artwork related to cats. Things to remind you of your cat, things to make your cat happy, things you can wear that remind you of cats. Sayings about cats. Cat figurines and artwork. Pins that you can wear that remind you of your cat. Or of the cat that you wish you had. We also have food that you can eat that you don't even have to feed your cat. And food that would be better for the cat. We've got cat magazines shown for the people here to subscribe to. We've got lots and lots of different kinds of products, things to help you wash your cat, as well as to feed your cat. Over here near the entrance, we see the raffles to help benefit Spanky. We have a lot of things you can sign up for. Great. More food you can feed your cat, an actual cat in the background, and places for your cat to play as well on this custom cat furniture, or in this case, furniture. Mary Hickey is a vendor that we've seen at numerous cat shows. Mary, tell us what you get out of this by being a vendor.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's more of a social experience, actually, and yet I earn money at the same time, so that's always nice.
Do you actually bring products that you sell here?
Sometimes, usually I give out free samples, but sometimes I do have products, a show special.
Now, how many times a year do you go to a show?
Up until recently, just some of the local shows, so maybe 4, 5, 6 times a year for cat shows, but I also do dog shows. But I've received a promotion recently in the company, so now I'll be doing a lot more.
So that means you'll be representing the products at a bigger area?
Correct. And in other states now, too. So I'm really looking forward to it. Bigger shows, meet more people, people from all over the country. And even just represented today, we have people from Canada, which here in Minnesota is not real far away, but we have people from Texas and from every place in between.
Well, it sounds like a great social opportunity as well as one for talking about your products.
It is.
Jean Dalmacy is president of the Etoile du Nord Cat Club as well as an organizer of today's show. Jean, tell us about being club president.
Well, it was quite different. I was elected in 1984. The club was chartered through the American Cat Fanciers Association, otherwise known as ACFA, in 1983. And when the club was chartered, we were set up as permanent officers, elected officers. In the first year, I was treasurer, and we lost our president, and the board members elected me as president, and I have been president ever since. I have also been the permanent show manager. This is the club's 18th show. For 3 years, we put on 2 shows a year. We were out in the Robbinsdale Crystal area for 13 years. Then we were 4 years downtown with the Pet Fair, and we had 2 shows in Crystal. And now this year we laid off for 2 years, and this year we're back on the show circuit again with a new 8-ring show, and we'll probably be here in Roseville again next year.
Well, it's great for pet lovers to have something in this area to go to.
Well, there are 5 or 6 clubs in the area. There are 2 associations, and there was one in January at the Winter Carnival, and then there'll be 2 or 3 in Inver Grove Heights. And the other big ACFA show is the Gopher State Cat Show, which is going to be in Farmington. And one of the biggest classes in any of these shows is the household pet.
Now, I know that you were instrumental in getting that accepted as a class in the club.
Well, I used to travel with 8 cats, long hairs, short hairs, neuters, and spays, and I traveled 35 weekends a year. And I incorporated my traveling with 5 other people from Illinois and Wisconsin, and we used to travel as far east as Detroit, southeast to Lexington, Kentucky, Winnipeg, Billings, Montana, and into Texas.
That's quite a bit of dedication.
It's quite a bit of money spent, too. But we felt that the household pet is as beautiful as some of your purebreds. And that's where your purebred owners of tomorrow are going to be. We have a lady here from South Dakota who came in with 6 household pets. ACFA allows the household pet to be registered, and you're assigned a number, and you can vie for titles just like the purebreds vie for champion and grand champion. The household pet vies for supreme and royal. I was fortunate enough that when ACFA started scoring on a regional and national level for the household pet, I had the very first household pet of the year, and that was in 1981.
That's quite an achievement. And in fact, I bet a lot of our viewers will be saying, you know that I know that I can register my household pet, maybe I'll join the ACFA as well.
It takes about $10 to register your cat. You do not have to register your cat if you don't want to. Just come out and have a wonderful time. We have quite a few first-time exhibitors, and when the shows are put together, if a person that wants to show their cat lets us know that they are a first-time exhibitor, we will put them next to a very friendly, experienced exhibitor to help them out. Everybody has to start someplace.
It's sort of like a mentorship program.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We teach them some grooming pointers, and I used to do grooming demonstrations all over the Midwest. And I'm more than willing to help anybody. I'll answer general questions. I'm not a veterinarian or a vet tech by any means, but I can help them with any kind of grooming problem they might have.
Now tell us about these beautiful trophies we see back here.
Well, in our show, we have what they call a best of the best category. There are 8 judges in our show, and each judge picks what they feel are their top 10 animals in 4 classifications: kittens, whole cats, altered cats, and the household pet. And the scores are accumulated through the 8 judges, and the cat, kitten, alter, or household pet with the highest score over the 2 days wins one of these magnificent trophies. And we're one of the few clubs that recognizes best of the best.
So that's something really to look forward to at the end of the final day of the show.
Oh, I can remember the first time I won a best of the best. I was just ecstatic. The award was sponsored by the Des Moines Register, a newspaper. And they expected somebody from Iowa to win it, and it was during my years of traveling, and we went in and we conquered. My Rocky just walked away with it. And Rocky was a black and white, short hair with big green eyes, and he was just a magnificent showman. Some cats just adore going to the shows.
Well, we've seen that already in some of the other cats that we've seen here, that they just seem to thrive on this.
There are, I believe, 29 short hair recognized breeds and 19 long hair recognized breeds, including the household pet. Now, the purebred breeds have a standard that they have to meet, and they're judged against the standard. But the household pet is judged by whatever the judge catches the judge's eye. She might like red cats, he might like long hairs, and it's just a matter of what the judge prefers. Personality doesn't hurt. They are looking for a clean cat. They're looking for a cat that's not terribly overweight or terribly underweight, and it's called balance.
So in a way, it's not just a beauty contest. It's health and personality and a lot of other things wrapped up together.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of fun, though, and you'll find that the household pet people all kind of join together. In fact, we have a club going. It's called the International Yellow Sock Society. And here's the yellow sock. And that came to be that when the household pet people were waiting for the finals, and you're so excited, and something might be calling you somewhere else, you don't leave the ring, and so obviously the yellow socks.
Well, it sounds like quite a tradition.
Everybody that has yellow socks or is a member of the Yellow Sock Club tries to wear yellow socks on Sunday. And many of the judges in ACFA will wear yellow socks. You'll find that our judges range from coast to coast, from Canada to Texas. Our judges today are from Rhode Island, they're from Florida, they're from Minnesota, and Illinois. Yesterday's, and most of the shows are 2 days, and yesterday we had North Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. It takes a year's planning to put on a show like this.
So right after this show, I suppose you have to start planning for next year's show.
I already have started planning. We've contacted some of the judges for next year. We're looking at a little larger show hall so we can have more entries and more vendors. And we have a lot of wonderful vendors with all kinds of goodies for cats, for people that love cats.
Well, and I know that our viewers will be looking forward to that next show as well.
Well, it'll be the same time next year, and I'm more than willing to answer any questions anybody might have about how to show, how to enter a show, or just talk about cats in general.
Well, thank you very much, Jean.
Well, thank you so much.
Now let's take a look at some of the household pet judging as we see the finals in Joan Harvey's ring.
She called and asked if I would take him. They named him Tommy Big Head because he was so skinny. So he didn't start his show career till he was an old guy.
Oh, I love the expression on his face. Look at the eyes.
Like a little angel, isn't he? He looks up just...
taking all this in, but he's done a great job. I love the contrast and the color. Today, Tommy's my 7th best household pet. Side. This very wonderful household pet. He just doesn't care what you do to him. What's his name?
His name is TC, Trash Can McTavish. He was found in a trash can. My friend Sharon rescued him. He was going to be drowned.
Oh, isn't that something? He just rolled over on his back and he had a good time up here. What do you call him for short?
TC.
TC. TC is my 5th best household pet. For condition and coat and the eyes and the ears, and then we start looking for something extra, and this she does have. look at the toes on this cat is incredible. How many does she have?
She has 23.
23.
23 toes. I named her 22 twinkle toes, but when I started clipping, I counted 23. So, but she's 22 twinkle toes with 23 toes.
Say that real quick.
22 twinkle toes with 23 toes. She was dumped on my doorstep in October, and she came in to my household of 14 cats and hissed at every one of them, and I said, "You're staying." Just a little. She weighed maybe 2 pounds. She's just a little tiny thing.
Well, she got a fantastic home.
She stayed.
22 twinkle toes
Yes.
is my 4th best household pet. Big guy. He's big, he's strong, he's healthy, and she just like to wipe the judge out.
And she's a she.
Oh,
I have you know, yes. This is Rumple Teaser. She's named after the cat in Cats. She is a breeder. Oops. She's part Himalayan and part American Shorthair, and she's been at my house for about a year now, and she's an absolutely lovely girl. Yeah.
That's a beautiful Oops kitty.
Yeah.
She is my 3rd best household pet.
Yay, Rumple Teaser!
We're 23. This looks real easy up here playing with all the cats and trying to pick 10 out it's very hard. It's nothing easy about this. What's her name?
This is B.W. Muggins. B.W. is for black and white. Muggins is British slang for lovable. She's black and white and lovable. I was looking for a show cat. I found her at a pet store, and she purred for my husband, so she got to come home. That was almost 10 years ago. She turned 10 years old last week.
She's got a beautiful coat, the shine, the contrast. It looks like somebody just painted that on there. Today, Muggins is my 2nd best household pet.
Likes you.
Yeah, you got hands. That's what you call reaching out and touching someone.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. I can tell by the feel of this.
You can talk about
This is another oops kitty.
Yes.
This is what I call them. It's got to be a Singapore and something.
Yeah. Singapore is something I don't know.
You don't know?
No. He was born on the 4th of July. The breeder named him Yankee Doodle Dandy, but I changed it to Firecracker because he's never still. And he is absolute love.
Just a great feel. Texture is wonderful. Personality. Today, Firecracker is my best household pet. Give him a hand.
You saw Norma Anderson in the household pet finals with some of her pets. Now let's talk to her about another activity that she has related to the pin that she's wearing. Norma, tell me about this yellow sock.
Okay, this is a yellow sock pin that is, everyone who is a member of the Yellow Sock Society has one. The Yellow Sock Society is a society that was started for household pet people in the Northwest and parts of Canada. And when I was out there for an annual 3 years ago, I picked up on the theme and brought it back to our North Central region. The Yellow Sock Society is for only household pet people, and household pet people have a great camaraderie of cheering each other on and wishing the best for their pets. On Sunday afternoons, a lot of times, a club will do a best of the best for yellow socks. And when they do a best of the best, sometimes the cat that wins it is going to go down to the last ring because they're separated by such few points. And the exhibitors get so excited sometimes that they dance around a little bit. And if they're wearing yellow socks, can you get them? No one will know if they have an accident. And that's what the Yellow Sock Society is all about.
And what about this doll?
The doll, what we do is we pick one judge on Sunday to induct into our Yellow Sock Society. She gets a pin, her own pair of yellow socks, which she must wear when she judges household pets. And then she gets 10 yellow sock dolls that are made for the club by me to depict the theme of their show. And then she hands these 10 yellow sock dolls out to the top 10 household pets in her ring.
And I see that this is the Etoile du Nord yellow sock doll.
Right. They're the Star of the North, and the yellow socks all have a little star at the northern part of the doll.
Well, thanks very much, Norma.
You're welcome.
Now let's see some more of the purebred judging in Ring 2.
This is Russian Blue. She's 14 and a half years old, so she's a little opinionated. Oh, no, you're okay. She's got 7 planes on her head that are clasped. She's blue.
I think that's so intriguing.
You want to see all the planes?
Yes, I do.
All right, I need to put her down.
All right.
You want to move ribbons?
All right.
Come here. First plane is straight from the nose and the chin. Second one comes up from the nose, so you have an angle here. The third one comes from the forehead straight through to the back. So this is all flat here. There is no doming. Then you have on both sides, you have a modified wedge, the first part of the wedge, the second part of the wedge. You have to pull her hair back in order to see that. And there's 7 planes altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you do pull the head back or the hair back, you can see that she looks like a sphinx. She doesn't like that. But that's okay. She's got a blue coat. Each of the guard hairs are tipped in silver. She has a very dense undercoat, and she sheds an awful lot when she decides to. Fur should feel like a silk coat or a silk scarf when you run your hands through it. It will leave the marks in it if it's a dense coat. Fine boning, a medium-sized cat, and high on the legs. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was a beautiful Russian blue cat, the 7th best all breed.
Beautiful pale coat. This is a Himalayan.
So this is a blue patch tabby Himalayan, the 6th best all breed.
This is a blue patch tabby Himalayan. She has a very, very flat profile. We call it the Alfred Hitchcock profile because it's perfectly flat. The nose in the middle of the face, small little ears, rounded face, very, very cobby legs, short, and stubby little tail. Not really.
This is a Kimrick. A Kimrick is a long-haired version of the Manx. One of the most distinguishing features is actually its lack of a feature. It has no tail. Although many of the kittens born, about half of them will have full-length tails, and those we show in the household pet class or use them for breeding. This young man has a nice rocker set ears, nice double coat, a head that's slightly longer than it is wide. As I said, his best feature is back there. And he's just really a love bug.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous Kimrick. It's my third best all-breed altered.
Yay!
Beautiful.
Leanne Harner is the regional director of the ACFA, as well as a judge and an exhibitor. Leanne, tell me what it takes to be a judge in a show like this.
Well, it's a very long process. For one, you have to have been an exhibitor and a member of ACFA for at least 5 years and have had 5 different grand champions, which is an achievement in itself.
Now, to be a grand champion, what does a cat have to do?
A cat has to have a minimum of 16 winners' ribbons and then 6 different finals from 6 different judges. That means you have to have had at least 6 judges say your cat is really one of the top in the show.
So before someone even becomes a judge, they have to have had that experience of raising a winning cat.
Absolutely. We want them to understand how a cat develops. If you raise a kitten, you watch it grow, you see it develop, you see it become a mature cat, you go through the breeding process, you understand the frustrations, the grooming problems, the changes that all those cats go through, and that makes you not only a more informed exhibitor, but a more informed judge.
And then I know there's quite an apprenticeship program before you get to be a judge.
Absolutely. Paperwork is key. So we make all of our potential judges become licensed clerks. They have to clerk in a ring. And then master clerk, which means they track all the paperwork for all the shows, for the entire show, and double check the judges to make sure all the paperwork is mechanically correct. Then, once accepted by the board as an apprentice judge, they have to go through another paperwork or mechanics training assignment, in fact, several of them, and pass that test satisfactorily. That's when the fun begins. That's when we get to handle cats.
Now, is there any kind of continuing education for the judges?
Absolutely. We have, each of our judges has at least 2 years. Every 2 years we have to have a training seminar, and we also have to pass a test, which is administered by our peers. Plus, we have a yearly review by the board of directors. So if you've been messing up in the ring, if you don't have your paperwork correct, if you're mishandling cats, complaints come in, and those are handled by the board of directors.
Now, how long have you been a judge?
I've been a judge 5 years.
And what's a typical yearly load for a judge in terms of number of shows?
Well, it really varies. It depends on the judge's health, the judge's work schedule. If you're judging, you can't exhibit at the same show. So if you have a cat you really want to show, you probably aren't going to accept too many judging assignments, or at least not close ones. But a typical one would probably be 5 to 12 shows. We have judges that judge over 20 shows a year, and we have some that may only judge 1 or 2.
So this weekend we actually have 2 shows.
Absolutely. Our shows are back to back. We had 4 judges yesterday, I was one, and then 4 different judges today. Every cat goes to see every judge in every ring, so you have 8 chances to win. I understand this is different in dog shows. They go and they have 1 chance to win. We have 8 chances to get those rosettes.
Sounds like it's more fun for the exhibitors that way.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting when you have a lot of good cats and they all are scoring equally. It kind of depends on which cat decides to sparkle up to which judge and how it really works. So it's fun to see your cat perform and see it come together and see who can win. At the end of the 2 days, we have what we call Best of the Best, which is a cumulative score, and that's when you see the cat, kitten, halter, and household pet who has done the very best for the entire weekend.
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All set. Sandy Antcliffe is a judge from Elgin, Illinois, and throughout the day she's judged household pets, kittens, and now is doing adults. They're grouped into long hair and short hair. Right now she's doing a group of short-haired adults from all breeds. The way the process works, the judge will look at the cat, make notes on how well it fits the breed standard, if it's a purebred, or make notes on whatever she thinks is important if it's a household pet for which there are no standards, then record those so that they can be compared with the of other cats who are competing against it. Then at the end of the judging of the long hair and the short hair, the judge will award a number of prizes, including the best of breed, in which the cat only competes against others of its breed, best of color, in which case it only competes against others of its color within the breed, and then other categories depending on what previous honors the cat has won. Because there are 27 short-haired adults, they can't all be done at once. So the judge will look at certain ones, ask the owners to put them back, and then bring back other cats so that they can all be looked at once before they decide which 10 will final in the ring. And it's with the finals that you see large rosettes awarded to the 10 best in each general group. The fourth class, which Sandy Antcliffe will judge after she finishes the adults, is the altered class. Altered means that the pet has been spayed or neutered, whereas adults are the whole cats that are still able to breed. You can see that there's a standard procedure of cleaning off the table after one cat before going on to the next one, because the cats are very sensitive to the smell of other animals and could be disturbed if they smell something that's too much like another cat. At certain times, you'll see the judge do something that makes the cat look up. It'll look like they're trying to play with the cat, and sometimes that's what they're doing. Other times they're just trying to get a good look square at the face of the cat so that they can see how well that cat's face meets the breed profile. And you can see as she looks at each cat, Sandy Antcliffe gives it its preliminary awards. Some of these cats may also come back in the finals, where the 10 best adults, in this case, will be selected. When the clerk takes down the numbers, that means that the owner can go ahead and remove the cat.
Alter 320, 322, and 23. 320, 322, and 322, 23 to ring 1.
You may have just heard an announcement about Ring 1 needing certain cats. Each cat who's part of the show is given a number, and they're called by number rather than by name. When you hear your number called, then you're supposed to get it out of the cage that you have it in during most of the show and bring it up and put it into the judging area. Now, before that happens, one of the assistants in the ring will clean out the cage so that when the cat's put in there, they don't have to deal with the smell of another cat. So the people who work with the ring include the judge, of course, and the clerk, who keeps detailed records, and then the assistants who clean out the cages. Of course, as well as the pet owners who bring their cats up, and the audience who enjoy watching the judging of the pets. Now in this case, it's Boy Scout Troop 31 who have supplied the help for cleaning out the pet cages. Being a judge in a ring like this requires a lot of experience, not only as a knowledgeable breeder, but also as one who is familiar with what the standards are for each of the breeds. Occasionally, a new breed will be developed. And when a new breed is developed, it's added to the repertoire of breeds for the Cat Association as a provisional breed. It participates in the show as the judges themselves learn what the standards are for the new breed. And you can see when the ring clerk puts up new numbers, the cages have been cleaned out, and it's time for the owners of those to bring their pets up. The clerk will announce their numbers.
225 through 227. 225 through 227 to ring 4, please.
Now let's go back to ring 2 to finish the all-breed final.
Do you want to put it down? Sure, we'll put him down. This is Leo. He's a almost 2-year-old red tabby Persian neutered male. He has, just like the Himalayan you saw, the very flat profile called the Alfred Hitchcock look. Little tiny nose sit right in the middle of his head. Beautiful doming, ears on the side so they almost disappear when you look at him. Gorgeous red flowing coat, tree trunk type legs, and a little short tail. And he is a
magnificent color.
great red color.
Fabulous red. It's my 4th best all-breed alter.
So we saw a Persian, which won 4th best all-breed in ring 2.
And 2nd best alter in the
So here's the 2nd best grand champion, 2nd best alter. And this is a rag doll.
Well, I have to take this cat out. We do not see many rag dolls. This is a beautiful example of the breed. It's a blue bicolor, very, very pale blue. Now, in your bicolors, the white should not go past mid-thigh. It's properly marked. Yes, you are big, big. It has a long, long body, which is characteristic of the breed. Very heavy, heavy boning. And if you were to look at its stomach, it has a white stripe running down the middle of its stomach, which is part of the requirements of the color of this breed. It has a wonderful inverted V white on the head and gorgeous blue eyes, magnificent coat. Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful coat. 2nd best grand, 2nd best all-breed alternate show. Yeah.
This is a rag doll. And a feisty one at that.
Grand champion, very best all-breed alter. Berman, Seal Point.
This is a Seal Point Berman. He's a neuter. He's 2.5 years old. He's way spoiled. The Berman has a nice broad head, nice ear set that comes right down into the chin line, blue eyes. They have a nice long body from shoulder to hip, from here to here. Nice full coat is nice, but we don't always get it. But they are a semi-long hair breed. They don't mat. And then they have the matching boots and mittens on the front. And then on the back, they have the matching laces.
Beautiful Burman. My very best Aubrey Altern show. Thank you.
So the very best Alter All breed in the show for Ring 2 is this beautiful Burman. This is Glenn Newton at the Etoile du Nord Cat Show. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the cat show, and we hope that we'll see you at a cat show in the future.